Well, hi there, everyone, and welcome. I'd like to warmly welcome you to the American Business Culture Specialist course. The video that you are about to watch is intended to support Module 2. It is a review and a reinforcement of Module 2's most important takeaway, which is the American Public Forum concept and some of its most important rules. Now, I'm Daniel Donahue. I'm the founder of American Business Culture Training and Testing Services, and I'll be providing the voice in this video. I'm very happy that you've decided to join me, and I thank you very much for your interest. The main takeaway from Module 2 is understanding the American Public Forum concept and many of the most important rules within it. The American Public Forum can be thought of as a giant marketplace. Everyone is welcome to do business in this market, but everyone is expected to follow the house rules. Anyone who's not willing to follow the rules will be penalized on the American market, and depending on the seriousness of their rule violation, the violators will be hit with penalties ranging from high personnel turnover to lost business opportunities to even being expelled from the market completely. Now, Americans do not generally like rules and certainly do not want more rules than necessary, but they do follow the rules that are in place, and they expect everyone else to do the same. The American Public Forum may not be loved, and it isn't, but it is necessary in the USA. America has been multicultural since well before the first day of its official existence. Many of the immigrant communities that came to American shores had been enemies long before immigrating to America. It would be ridiculous to think that just because they had reached American shores, they'd become friends with each other or they began to like each other. They didn't. Now, the rules of the public forum form a kind of common denominator. What's true for everybody in the public forum is that you can do better than the rules, but no one is allowed to do worse. And if you do worse, you will be penalized, as I mentioned before. The rules of the public forum ensure that three sets of interests are consistently met. Those are mission, people, and self. Although each of these interests is viewed to be equally important, the order must be maintained: mission, people, self. Placing one's self-interest ahead of the needs of others or the mission will not be tolerated. Now let's have a closer look at the American Public Forum concept. You'll see in this graphic there are two levels. First, there's the real life level. This is where your friends and family are. This is your life outside of work. And this is where your authenticity matters, where your individualism plays a role. On the other hand, when you leave real life to go to school, to go to work, to go shopping, to go into the public forum for whatever reason, you have entered the game. The public forum is not real life. It is a game. It's about conforming to a set of rules. Each rule has a box, and each box needs to be checked off. Now, if you check off the box, you're showing that you respect the other people in the system. If you choose to not check off a box, you're showing disrespect for the other people and the system. The public forum, again, is like a neutral marketplace. Everyone is welcome as long as they're willing to show respect to each other by conforming to the house rules, which again exist to protect the three sets of interests: mission, people, and self. Now, there are three categories of rules that protect these three sets of interests. The first is showing appreciation and recognition, praising generously. The second is aligning from start to finish, giving your American partners voice and choice. And the third one is following the rules of the public forum. For example, never talk about politics, race, religion, color, gender differences, sex, age differences, disabilities, anything with conflict potential, and criticism is the most serious category there, or anything that would make anyone feel differently than anyone else. Now, in American business, You could also add don't explain, don't complain, don't make excuses, and don't place blame to the list of the other rules. The main respect rules in the American Public Forum are show appreciation generously and frequently, as we just mentioned. Give voice and choice by asking Americans for their input on matters that affect them directly, even if that input is more of a symbolic nature. It will be appreciated. Always give your best to get the best possible outcome as quickly and conveniently as possible. Always give your best to get along well with the people you work with. There's practically no tolerance for conflict in American business. It's just not wanted and it's not accepted. Focus on solutions, not on problems. Accentuate the positive in your messaging. Once again, don't explain, don't complain, don't make excuses, and don't place blame. These things are not useful in American communication. Now let's take a little quiz. The questions here will come from both this video and the PDF that you read before coming to the video. Let's see what you've learned. First of all, is it generally better to ask Americans a lot of questions, no questions, or just a few questions? Ask a lot of questions. The more, the better. Do Americans appreciate hearing excuses when things go wrong? No, they don't. Americans practice a solution focus, which means we are here, we need to be there. How do we get there best? Excuses are irrelevant. How do Americans generally feel about unsolicited explanations? They don't like them, and they often feel offended by them. When it is appropriate to tell an American that something is impossible to do? Never. If you can't tell Americans no, what can you do instead? Offer them alternatives. All right, thank you very much for joining us. Don't forget to request the next module. We look forward to working with you in the future. Thank you.